He's hungry for more, he wants to improve, but
I like that.
My goodness, what a start he's had to Anfield Life. 16th goal, as Pete said there, all comps this season.
It was a difficult start for him at Anfield, with big price tag, come with big expectations, got a good CV, and then all of a sudden we go and buy Isak and we bring him in, for 120 million, was it? And he must have been thinking, I've come here to start, I've come here to play, I've gone to spend 120 million, he's going to get in ahead of me, so what am I going to do? And the only thing you can do is tell the manager that you want to be playing in the team, and by doing that it's been putting in performances, hard work, graft and scoring goals for centre forward, and he's gone and done that. He took his opportunity unbelievably well, wasn't on the back page of the papers moaning, wasn't knocking on the manager's door, it was like, I will show you, and you could see that in his performances, and I was willing him. I love this little story, I was willing him to score goals, not that I don't want Isak to play, but just that I just felt for him.
Is there an element of it, maybe that takes the pressure off in a different way, though, if somebody else is brought in and is the marquee signing, if you like, and as you say, he's got the attitude then of, I'll show you as well, but all the pressure isn't
the competition
him.
For the place is one thing, but when you're being brought in for 120 million, you're kind of looking thinking, he's going to play. I am not going to play here. So, what have I done? And I don't know what happened with the talks. I don't know whether they promised him he was going to play. I don't know whether they said Isak was... I don't know. But from the outside looking in, it just looks like he's come for a big price tag. He was going to play, and then they bring Isak in, and it's kind of like, oh. But he has been given his opportunity, and he's taken it. And, he's become a firm fan's favourite. He started striking up this relationship with Wirtz, who I think... he said today there he wasn't happy with his goals, but also J-Mo made a good point. His movement was really good today. Players weren't finding him. He has that relationship with Wirtz. Wirtz finds him all the time. He little 1-2s around the box. The movement's really good. Wirtz creates a lot of opportunities for each other. And I did miss him today, and I think maybe not sulking, but maybe he was upset by that. But he gets his goal, but he wants more, and he just wants more and more and more, and I love that about him.
In terms of his stats, David, we speak sometimes about Liverpool starting games slowly. He has 6 Premier League goals in the first half of games. It's a combined total for the rest of the Liverpool team of 5 in the first half of Premier League games. So the team might start slowly, but he always comes out of the box pretty quickly.
Yeah, what I said to Jay, just watching him today, there was times where he was making runs and not getting the pass. I'm not going to say he was frustrated, but you could tell that he was expecting the pass or wanting the pass. He didn't have that. He's electric, and I think one of the frustrations that we had early on in the season, going back to what Jason said about Isak being in, was Isak was starting a lot of games and Ekitike was coming on, and then changing the mood of the game in a positive way. What we're seeing now is that, and probably in a sense what we were talking about with Rio right at the beginning of the show, is that we know that Ekitike is going to do things early. So if you bring on a sub, you're going to get an earlier response, which is what we saw earlier on in the season. But now that he's starting, because Isak isn't there to stop him from starting, shall we say, he's doing everything, a lot of stuff in the first half. But exciting player. I like the hunger. The only warning I would give is don't get too frustrated with being frustrated, because that can be very detrimental.
Easy to do, though, I suppose, in the moment.
It is. You want more. And when you win 5... again, ironically today, the first 4 goals have come from set place situations, not open play situations where we've seen him score a lot of goals. So maybe a bit of the frustration is that he hasn't got the goals in normal open play transitions. It's been around the set play movements.
Go on.
I agree with J-Mo there. It's like sometimes you can over-analyse your own game. You can watch it back and think, well, I should have done that and I should have done that. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. But he's got this rawness about him, and he's got bags of ability, and he's got this rawness, gets him into positions, and instinct for being a striker. He's got it. He's got pace. He can see things. He's got good movements. He can come short. He can go deep. He can hurt in a number of different ways. I agree with J-Mo. Don't go away and be frustrated and really beat yourself up over it. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean? But you've got on the score sheet today. You've done your job. You were effective. 2
assists.
Yeah, and 2 assists.
Yeah.
He's had a good day.
It's a good day at the office for Hugo Ekitike.
Yeah.
He is exciting in the moment, but I think probably one of the most exciting things is he's 23 years old. You're looking at him, Florian Wirtz, the relationship they have together, and you're kind of looking at the future as well, which is really exciting. The prospect of them playing here together for quite a few years to come, hopefully, David.
And then a youngster comes on as a sub and does his bit as well. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a young talent who could get a lot better. with more game time, with more again exposure with quality players around him, like we've seen him develop this season. Don't get frustrated by it. Just understand that things don't always go right, like Jason says, and just understand that you'll get better in time, and in time you'll be looking back at this and going, that's fine. Today, as I say, the goal wasn't scored in general open play, but he was looking to score it. There'll be games before the end of the season where he'll get that ball and he'll put it in the back of the net, and then he won't be worried. He'll be happy.
There's also adapting to the Premier League. I mean,
He's had 7 months, Chase. I think he's adapted.
No, what I'm saying is like next season, he's going to be playing against players he's familiar with. When it's new, you don't know what you're going to come up against. You don't know who's playing with. There's going to be some clubs that he really likes playing against, because you get that as a player as well. When you're season in, season out in the Premier League, you think, I quite fancy playing against West Ham, or he didn't bother me last season. I'm going to have a good day today. So there's all that going to come into it. But you're right, the relationship with Wirtz. Rio's going to start getting more game time. You've got Salah. It's just, listen, the club's in a healthy position, very healthy.
From one of the newer members of the team to one of the older members of the team, in the best way, Virgil van Dijk celebrated 8 years here just last month. Jason, he gets goal number 2. I know.
I remember when we were trying to get him, we were away. Yeah, I remember that.
It's like the
yesterday.
best late Christmas present, wasn't it, when it came in January?
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets goal number 2. I feel like we can speak about Virgil, and it's almost, after so long, it's almost taken for granted that 99% of the time he goes out, does his job, has an outstanding game. But you have to give him credit where it's due, especially on the goal front, David, because he's been really contributing in that sense in recent months. Yeah,
I mean, it was... It seemed like a quite simple goal, really, when you look at the delivery. I mean, it's 5 yards out, centre of the penalty area, but his movement, I think Mavropanos might be marking him. He's given him a little shove, got in front of him, and got the header in there. Should have had a goal against Manchester City. But some referee decided it was a bit iffy, and that could have changed the whole complex of the season. However, I'm not moaning about that. But we talked at the beginning, didn't we, about how leaders on the pitch with Dom. Obviously, Virgil being the captain is a leader, but the way that he plays, again, demonstrates that he's got that leader quality and people respect it. Some stats
on him, Jason. In terms of central defenders, this is a non-penalty goals. Only John Terry with 41 has more Premier League goals.
That's in career.
Yeah, this is in the entire history of the competition, by the way. So 28 for Virgil. I mean, he's not just a Liverpool great, he's a Premier League great as well.
Absolutely, he'll go down as a Premier League great. Yeah, we've seen his contribution here. The 7 years under Jurgen was amazing. He was a major part of that, and it's been a difficult season. It's been a difficult season for lots of different reasons. And when you're in them leadership roles, as Virgil is, being one of the older players, he's got the armband. Through what the club's been through, but also in the dressing room. It's unprecedented. We've never done this. We talk from experience when we're ex-players and being out there, and what it's like playing in cup finals, what it's like being in dressing rooms for this. But when you lose a player that as close as they were to Diogo, he's got to step up and almost be a father to some of the younger players who had that relationship with Diogo, or be that leader when it's not going well. And sometimes you've got to be the harsh words and listen. We can't be upset by this. Like, for 90 minutes, you can't let it affect us. I think it did for some of the players. I think it still does. But it's down to him to bring that unity, that togetherness, and that is very, very difficult, something none of us have experienced. So his quality's there off the pitch. It's not just on it with the statistics that he for me, he's great because, and I listened to some of the interviews about protecting players and interviews